And action.
Are you filming?
Yeah.
Oh, hey, this is Jeff Wick, editor of the Fayette County Record newspaper. Hey, we're just hanging out at the fire department here in LaGrange, joined as always by H.H. Howes and Andy Balin. There's Fire Chief Frank Menefee and Fireman Gary Anders. We were able to pull them away from the river where they've been fishing for catfish, trying to catch enough for the big fish fry this Sunday. Of course, I'm just kidding about that. They don't really catch those catfish. You get them from MG and Weimar, right?
That's correct.
But the 33rd edition of that big fish fry is coming up Sunday at the KC Hall. We'll talk a little bit more about that after we talk a little bit about the headlines in this edition of the paper, which is still on a van coming back from the printing press in Bryan. So we got the page proofs here. Andy's got the e-edition on his phone, just so another way people can check out the news. But guys, y'all want to let folks know a little bit about some of the things they can find in the new edition of the paper?
I don't know. I wasn't here. I was on vacation, so I'm gonna. But I did send you a photo. Is my photo in here?
It is not.
We're all. I don't guess anybody's washed away yet, but we've been getting a lot of rain here across the county, and the projections on the for the river doesn't look like it's going to cause any problems here in LaGrange. Although there's some historic flooding up north of here on the other side of Austin, but
I don't know. Why don't we ask some experts? Breaking news here, Frank. Any should we really be worried about any water impact here this weekend?
Not at this time. The big fear was that they were going to have to open additional floodgates on Mansfield Dam. Currently, as of yesterday, they had 4 open. This morning they decided that they're not going to have to open anymore, which is a good thing for us. We'll see a little bit of water, but nothing like we were kind of planning for. So,
yeah, we also we had that truck pickup fire here in town the other day. I saw y'all firefighters out there on the west side of town. There was a gentleman who was moving and is towing a truck in a U-Haul truck, and somehow or another his that truck caught on fire and it wasn't even running or anything. Then also we have some news about the housing projects that may be going to Schulenburg. I've got a long story about that, and some local officials are scratching their heads over why all that money is going to Schulenburg and not LaGrange.
I like the quote you've got in that story, Andy, from County Judge Ed Yanechka, saying that he's finding out information about these land things from what he reads in the paper.
That's right. Yeah. Also, Jeff, you have a really touching story about this gentleman from the Baptist Church who's been dealing with Parkinson's disease.
Yeah, Michael Hess from Ellinger has really made a dramatic recovery from Parkinson's, and he wants to share his story and kind of form a Parkinson's support group here locally. A really amazing guy, a 77-year-old man out of Ellinger, and you can read more about him and that potential support group he wants to start in the paper.
And some interesting new therapy that's been
working
for him.
Deep brain stimulation.
Yeah.
I have a friend who has Parkinson's, and he has had that deep brain stimulation on 2 sides of his head.
Looks like it's working for Mr.
They
Hess.
do it over here to control this side, and they do it over there to control this side. And this guy was flopping all over the place. His life was really miserable, and it worked.
Some people say reading the Fayette County Record is a form of deep brain stimulation as well.
That's right. That's right.
Who says that?
And also we have tons of sports news, previews of the games this weekend. Always have the picks, some questionable picks by some of my kinfolks this week, but you can always read that. What else we have, Jeff?
Oh, we got some great columns in the opinion section, some always interesting letters to the editor. Let's see, a big preview on the Lick Skillet Festival coming up this weekend in Fayetteville. We don't want to talk too much about that right here because that's actually kind of competing with y'all's fish fry. But yeah, speaking of Sunday, why don't
May I ask about, I just mentioned Tex Parker's column.
Yes, he has another installment in The Adventures of Tex.
What's the headline? Highlights from the homeless camp.
Yeah, Tex is in the midst of a California adventure, and yeah, his column this week is worth the $1 you'll spend on the paper. So, but yeah, let's turn our attention to the fish fry. Yeah, and we've got the flyer right up here, guys. but the 33rd annual, and people have had 2 years to really get hungry for that fireman's fish, because last year after Harvey, y'all made the decision, with the need so great, not to have the fish fry so people could donate elsewhere. And so this one's kind of been 2 years in the making, huh?
That's right. We're looking forward to it.
Yes, I think so. 2 years of last year, after all the floods and everything, the KC Hall was destroyed, and so we decided not to do it last year. We didn't have the facilities. We used a lot of their equipment to fry the fish and everything. So this year we're starting basically over again. You got to remember what we did 2 years ago and start over. But no, it'll start Sunday morning about 11 a.m., 10:30, 11 a.m. People can start arriving. We'll have fish ready by then. We should have plates to go. We'll also have some games for the kids. We'll have a cakewalk going on in the morning, and and also a raffle. A lot of the raffle tickets are sold, I think, but there should probably be some there at the hall Sunday morning. So, and then I'm starting about 12:30, or between 12 and 12:30. We'll start with the auction. We'll have an auction going on until it's over, and then everything pretty well winds down at that point. We'll serve food till about 1 o'clock. And also it mentioned it's a free will donation. It's you come and pay what you want to for it. It just whatever you feel it's worth to you.
And is it still all you can eat too?
Yes, it's all you can eat.
It's always been all you can eat. Yeah, which is free will and all you can eat. Just is amazing.
Yeah, we have I think 1,600 pounds of fish we have stored over there right now. So. We'll have plenty, I think, for everybody. We've always had plenty. So.
And do y'all fry it up yourselves, or get the KCs?
Yes, no, we do it ourselves. Our firemen do it, and we also have people that come in from the community and help us too.
Is this peanut oil you cook it in?
It's a secret. No, I'm joking. Yes, we use peanut oil. In preparation, we've been preparing all week for it. The big day will be Saturday. We'll meet up here at 2 o'clock and start carrying stuff up there. We'll start cutting up fish for Sunday morning and start making our seasoning, our secret seasoning for it. So it's a pretty big event for us. So, and we enjoy it. So we have a good time. So
this guy over here looks he's pretty.
He's ready to go, I think.
He's worn out.
How many firemen are in the department?
we have 30 members right now.
30 members. Of course, volunteer fire department, and you don't have to look any farther than the front page of our paper today to see just how busy y'all are. Just talk about what it's like to manage a all volunteer department like that. With as much action as y'all really have going all around the county.
Well, the biggest thing for us is we get a lot of community support, and we're always in y'all's paper. I believe that helps a lot. Folks see us out there doing this stuff, so they want to become part of something and be a part of the community and help the community. And this is an avenue for them to do that. And we're very fortunate that we even have a waiting list, people wanting in. We got
Wanting
3 or
to
4.
be firemen?
Yes.
Really?
So a lot of departments our size in the volunteer service, they can't get any help right now. I mean, that's a nationwide trend. And when you join up, you think that, you don't really know what all you have to do, but you have to train. You have to go to school. We train here. It's no different from being a paid firefighter. There's standards that we have to train on just like they do. And we have a few every once in a while find out that there's that much to it, and they have to drop out because it takes away from your family and your kids and
Such
stuff
a commitment,
like that too.
yeah.
So, the whole family has to commit to it if you're going to join.
Yeah.
So
What's the age range?
we anywhere from 18 to how old is it? 64.
64, yeah, right now.
Yeah.
So
It's
and
kind of go
well,
ahead.
there's plenty of jobs to do on the fire ground. I mean, it ain't just necessarily fighting fire. From my side, I've kind of backed off of the fighting fire part of it. I do a lot with the fundraiser and stuff like that, and then also like if you learn how to run one of the trucks, and there's a lot of jobs to do. You don't necessarily just have to be a firefighter. It's good. You have to learn all the process involved, but you don't. There's plenty of jobs out there to do for.
Yeah, and like Gary says, they're all volunteers, and every one of them brings something different to the table. We can use everybody. So.
But all that training you were talking about and this equipment, it all costs money, and that's why this fundraiser is important for folks to come out and help y'all out. Because, what's it cost to outfit a firefighter when
Well,
they join?
that's this year we're earmarking this money for new protective clothing, new PPE, this stuff
Yeah, you
here.
got
That's right here. This is Frank's.
And
Over here.
you know, you take like the coat and the jacket, it costs you about $2,600.
You can feel how heavy that is.
And you add the boots to it, the helmet, you're talking another $600. So you're looking at about $3,000 just for the structural gear here.
Yeah.
How
Don't mess
much?
any of that up, Pancho.
3,000.
3,000.
Then you take an air, add an air.
Your
pack.
arm doesn't bend that far back anyway.
Oh, wait, gosh.
You add an air pack to it. Gary's going to get one of them out. Right now they're about $8,000.
Wow.
So you're looking at $11,000 for each person.
And that stuff doesn't last forever. It has to
No,
be replaced
uh-uh.
from time to time, right?
Typically it'll last for 5 to 7 years. That's
Yeah.
about it. So, because if it gets any tears in it or rips or anything happens to it, we have to take it out of service, either have it repaired or replaced. And everybody has to have it. You know, you can't be
Hey,
selective
don't put
on
that on
who
my back.
has gear and who doesn't.
Yeah. Well, look, I'd like to get some trousers like those. Do I get those if I join?
You have to buy them on your own. That comes out of your pocket.
You might be past the age of
Time you
those,
suit it
Pancho.
out.
Yeah, I can't imagine fighting a fire with that thing on, this pack on.
Well, that's pretty heavy.
Is that oxygen?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, it's
It's
this
breathing,
trailer here. You can
clean
see
breathing air.
It's got air in it. We can refill these tanks with that on a fire, on big fire where we use more of the tanks. Here's your face piece.
Yeah.
Put that on Balin. Balin, turn your
He
cap
won't get a
around.
very good
Yeah, I'm
seal
not
with
gonna
a
get.
beard. If you notice, most firemen just have mustaches. You'll never see one with
Right.
a beard.
Ah,
Because you
yeah.
got to have that
The
seal around there.
safety
That
issue, huh?
smoke, yeah, that smoke won't get
I don't
in.
think that's gonna work.
That's one of the prerequisites, like Gary said, of being a firefighter. We do keep an old razor here just in case somebody forgets to trim up a little
Yeah.
bit.
In a hurry,
You don't have rebreathers, do you?
No, we do not use them, no, sir. No.
I used to have one when I worked in the mine, and if you breathe through it, it starts getting real hot, and it'll burn your mouth. But if you quit breathing through it,
These air packs actually, it's nice to breathe that tank air like when you're in the fire. It's cool. It kind of cools your face and everything.
Turn
Or
around,
in the
Andy.
middle of, or in the middle of a summertime when it's 100 degrees and you got all this equipment
Oh.
on. It doesn't take long to wear you
Yeah.
out. So.
I know when I go to the fires and I see y'all guys taking this stuff off, first thing y'all do is grabbing water trying to cool down.
Yeah.
Especially during the summertime. I imagine it gets hot.
With the heat, it takes a lot out of you if you put everything on and do what you have to do at the fire scene. It does, it'll drain you. It's just, we have
And then we also have this wall land gear. It's a little bit lighter than the structural. This is called structural firefighting gear. And this is wall land gear we use for grass fires and stuff. It makes it a little bit, is it still
I want
made out
one
of
of these.
Nomex? I'm
yes,
not sure.
it's Nomex and Kevlar. It's we use it primarily for brush fires and also for auto extrication. Yeah. So and that
It's a little
there's
bit easier.
$680. That pack.
it's got your name on the bottom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oldman.
Oldman. Kyle
That's
Oldman.
that's one of our firefighters.
One of the younger firefighters,
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, hey, thank y'all so much for having us out today. And you know, if you're watching now, make sure to go out to the Fireman's Fundraiser Sunday at the KC Hall in LaGrange. There's the flyer right there. You can find all that information also on page 4 of the current edition of the Fayette County Record. So make sure to go out there this Sunday, get some great fried catfish, and make sure to thank these firefighters when you're out there for the wonderful job they do keeping us safe. So, anything else, guys?
Good. Thank y'all.
Thank y'all.
Yeah, well, thanks for watching, y'all. You can always find us at FayetteCountyRecord.com. We're on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and all these videos go to YouTube as well. Thanks for watching, and thanks for reading.